After starting his criminal career over 40 years ago, Joaquin El Chapo Guzman became the drug industry's public enemy number one since Pablo Escobar. Guzman began his criminal career as a member of the Guadalajara drug cartel in the 1980s and quickly progressed through the ranks. El Chapo's net worth was reported at $1 billion by Forbes magazine in 2009, while his cartel's annual earnings were estimated at $3 billion by some accounts. El Chapo was formerly the 10th richest man in Mexico, but today he's the wealthiest Mexican facing a life sentence in jail. Is El Chapo genuinely deserving of such great acclaim? What does he spend his money on exactly? In today's video, we will be looking at the 10 insanely expensive things owned by El Chapo. But before we get into today's exciting video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss any of the new videos we post. Now, let's get into it. At number 10, a Chevy Corvette ZR1, $120,000. El Chapo participated in a hobby that many of the world's wealthiest individuals have, which is collecting vehicles. While he was at the pinnacle of his power, El Chapo's taste shines through in his decisions, despite the fact that the price was certainly not a factor. Throughout his career, El Chapo made it a point to warn law enforcement that he could never be arrested. He is well known for the extravagant exhibition of his gadgets, as well as his disdain for the cops. Knowing how closely the cops were following him, it was only natural that he kept some of the finest cars on the planet in his garage. I mean, if you're going to spend your entire life running away from the law, why not do it in style? El Chapo added a white Chevy Corvette ZR1 to his collection of flashy and fast cars. This one is one of the most powerful and exclusive cars on the market. It has 638 horsepower and is not even available in the US. Of course, if you're El Chapo, the more exclusive you are, the better. He has no trouble obtaining vehicles of this caliber. It boasts a 6.2-liter V8 engine and can achieve speeds of up to 192 miles per hour. That type of speed comes in useful when you spend the majority of your time fleeing from either the cops or other drug lords. At number 9, a Dodge Viper, $199,000. If you're familiar with high-end sports vehicles, you know how incredible and sought-after the Dodge Viper is. They don't make many of them, and they're quite difficult to find on the resale market. The Dodge Viper owned by El Chapo is an electric blue with white racing stripes. Despite its small size, the automobile is extremely fast, thanks to its V10 engine. The Dodge Viper is one of America's most recognizable sports cars. Its raw power, aggressive styling, blazing performance, and a complete lack of driver safety features combine to create a car that'll go down in history. According to sources close to the drug lord, he purchased the car to remind everyone around him that he was a fearsome and powerful man. The Viper snake is one of the world's deadliest snakes. This goes a long way towards demonstrating El Chapo's frightening side. This vehicle was seized by the authorities after El Chapo was apprehended, and it has remained in their possession. At number 8, a Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG, valued at $300,000. Mercedes-Benz created this stunning, sleek silver luxury sedan, which is one of their rarest models. While the SLS AMG has a sleek, gleaming exterior, it can also attain speeds unheard of in other cars. One of the world's quickest sports vehicles with over 600 horsepower, it features gull-wing doors, which are useful if you need to go quickly or if you need to open fire on a gang of criminals attempting to steal your cash and narcotics. This vehicle was also seized by authorities after El Chapo was apprehended, and it remains in their possession. At number 7, a Mercedes-Benz SLR McLaren, valued at $1.7 million. Whenever Mercedes-Benz and McLaren collaborate, the results tend to be fantastic. Even the best factory sports cars aren't always enough for El Chapo, and luckily for him, there are a lot of aftermarket tuners who can dramatically modify just about any automobile on the earth for the proper price. Many of us couldn't imagine spending $1.7 million on a home, so it's hard to believe someone would spend that much on a car. But when you're El Chapo, though, and you've got money to burn a hole in your pocket, $1.7 million is tiny change. El Chapo's McLaren is a gleaming white car. This automobile has 557 horsepower. El Chapo, on the other hand, was not satisfied. He had this automobile custom built by a company named Rentec, and now it boasts up to 722 horsepower. It's difficult to imagine a situation in which you'd need to move this quickly, but things are different in El Chapo's world. He also had a unique aeronautical exterior installed on the automobile so that he could travel even quicker. That should be enough for a man always on the run, but he's El Chapo, so it isn't. At number 6, a private ranch in Guadalajara, $1.9 million. El Chapo is so rich that it's said that he has a ranch or estate in every state in the United States. The same may be said for the majority of the Central and South American countries. His Guadalajara ranch is believed to be valued at over $2 million. He paid an undisclosed amount for this property, but similar farms in the vicinity have sold for $1.9 million. For people in the drug empire, this isn't exactly big money. It is nonetheless a large sum of money for common folk like us. Private tennis courts and pools are available at the property. It is also said to include tunnels created by El Chapo to allow him to flee at a moment's notice. It's no coincidence that his mansion is known as his hideout. No one knows if he comes in or when he goes out. It seems that the drug lord with so much money has to maintain an air of mystery. At number 5, La Tuna Mansion, $2.2 million. You could write an entire book about El Chapo's purported real estate holdings, but one thing we know for sure is that he has a mansion in La Tuna, Texas. He bought the land and constructed a house for his mother on it. He wanted her to be allowed to stay in his hometown. He did, however, want her to live in style. The irony of La Tuna is that it is also the location of a big federal penitentiary facility. El Chapo was probably taunting the federal authorities by building his mansion there. The house has been the site of numerous gunfights in which both El Chapo's men and local civilians have been killed. It's known as the Golden Triangle, and it's a key component of El Chapo's drug empire. Guzman's rags to riches narrative begins in the Badiraguato municipality in the Mexican state of Sinaloa's mountains. Working in the marijuana and the poppy fields of La Tuna was where the future drug lord got his start. At number 4, a private zoo worth $5 million. There's a popular saying that drug money never finishes. No wonder El Chapo seems to buy everything and anything he feels he wants. His massive mansions and estates aren't enough for him. He wanted his own personal zoo, so he built one. His zoo, which is located near the coast of Acapulco, is home to lions, tigers, and even crocodiles. El Chapo is obsessed with large cats. Therefore, he keeps panthers, tigers, and lions on hand at all times in his zoo. He also has a little train that he rides around the zoo, allowing visitors to see all the creatures in their abnormal environments. I'm curious if any of El Chapo's foes have been given a VIP tour of the zoo. At number 3 is Acapulco Beach House, worth $10 million. El Chapo erected a beautiful beach villa on the coast of Acapulco before constructing his zoo. The house has a private beach where he and his guests can relax and enjoy the sun and sand without fear of being interrupted by rival drug lords. The mansion is enormous, with tennis courts and swimming pools. Few people who have seen his beach property have been ready to describe the inside. Of course, El Chapo would not welcome Architectural Digest writers or photographers into his residence. This is the only asset El Chapo owns that has a price tag attached to it. At number 2, the yacht El Chapito, $275 million. According to reports, the man has a fleet of submarines and freighters ready to transport his drugs and cash around the world. He's said to have had entire fleets of private jets dedicated to transporting pounds of cash. El Chapo's boat, appropriately dubbed El Chapito, is the sole vessel he admits to owning. He gave the boat his own name, signifying that he was bigger than his $275 million yacht. The boat is docked near his Acapulco Zoo and Beach House. It was rumored that before starting his prison sentence, he would invite hundreds of models and other visitors to his yacht for secret parties that would linger for days. And at number 1, a carbon fiber super stealth plane worth $929 million. We've arrived at the top of our list, and this is by far the most costly item El Chapo has ever purchased. You'll need to remain anonymous if you want to be the number 1 name on the US government's most wanted list. In his carbon fiber super stealth jet, El Chapo was able to achieve precisely that. He flew his narcotics, cash, and himself around the world on this jet. The plane was designed to avoid radar detection. It can evade both commercial and local radar because of its carbon fiber coating. He likes to keep his business and pleasure separate. Thus, the stealth jet is solely used for private flights. When he travels, he just happens to have a lot of drugs and cash on him. El Chapo also managed what was thought to be the world's largest fleet of airplanes, with 586 planes recovered by authorities throughout the years. In addition to his automobile collection, parts of which were taken by authorities in 2015, add the fact that 13 helicopters have been captured, and those are just the ones that have been caught. Well, we've reached the end of this video, so what do you make of El Chapo's wealth? Please share your thoughts in the comments box below. Subscribe, like, and share. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you again in the next video.